So, welcome to tonight's team call. Hopefully you guys have your brains turned on and ready to welcome all of the information that we're going to talk about tonight. So, I actually hosted a Power of I Am call last week, 2 calls. One about your personal core values and one about your business and your branding for core values. And I thought it would be a really great topic to bring to this team because I know as a new coach, I really struggled with branding and I really struggled with wanting to help all of the people. And I mean all of the people, all of the people. So I felt like I was dragging people along. I felt like everything that I was doing just was hitting a brick wall. All these people were telling me, man, you're so inspiring. You're so much fun. I love watching what you do. I really want help. And then when it get to the point of this is what I'm doing, I'd hit a brick wall. And I'd have a lot of objections, and I really struggled at the beginning getting through those objections. By the way, guess what? Today is my coach anniversary. I have been a coach for 6 years today, 6 years. And I will tell you right now, all 6 years of this coaching thing have not been coaching. I personally went all in. Probably like fully all in after last summit. So after summit of 2019 is when I finally went all in. I'd been a coach for 6 years. My first 6 months in the business, I really didn't do a lot. I was working on my own health journey. I think that happens with a lot of people. And I had a call with Kevin Shaw the other day, and he was like, so when did you start working the business? And I'm like, well, I went to my first Super Saturday in January of 2015. So that was like 4 months later. I was like, and then I went to Summit in 2016 and I was doing stuff then, but I never really made the decision to go all in. And the reason that I'm telling you guys this is because sometimes slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes, there's a lot going on in life, and every single coach on this team will tell you that being a coach on this team is one of the most rewarding things that you can ever do for yourself. But at the same time, we all go through seasons in life, and that's okay. What's not okay is saying, nope, too hard, I give up, right? Unless you're like, no, you're like, I don't love fitness anymore. I mean, if that's it, you're like, I don't love helping people anymore, then that's the time that you can say, no, I'm good. But if you love fitness and you love helping people and you are a firm believer of these products and these programs, and you know that these things have helped you get to where you are, then you have a mission, and your mission is to help other people. No matter what is stuck in here, because what's stuck in here can be changed, because there are 50,000 freaking thoughts that happen every single day. 50,000. And probably about 75% of them just because of society, because of how we're raised, because of where we come from. Sometimes those get stuck on a negative loop, and that's really hard. So I just want to take a minute to say, you know what? You're here tonight. Figure it all out. Take a couple deep breaths, close your eyes, and just take a couple deep breaths with me and just say, thank you. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for opening my heart and my brain and my mind and my soul and my belief to knowing that something is there for me to make an impact with this business. And something is there for me to make an impact in this world. Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for doing that. All right. So we're going to talk about your core values. And the reason I want to talk about your core values is because I think a lot of us, this is kind of what I related my story to, a lot of us get stuck in this trap of wanting to do all the things, wanting to help all the people. And there are so many times, and it's just going to I'm just going to tell you, not everybody's your person. Has anybody here, just raise your hand for the people that are on video, if you do not or have no idea what your avatar is, raise your hand. That's okay. Good. Okay. By the way, it says Happy Halloween. It's Bevy. I really, really want the wine, but it's Bevy. Ladies doing the reset. I'm staying strong with you. Okay. It's Bevy. Okay. Cheers. I need a drink. I also have my jug of water that's almost done. Okay. So if you don't know what your avatar is, I want you, while we're going through this call tonight, I want you to take some time to write down and like really think about what are the stores you love to shop at? Local, online, whatever it is. What are the stores you love to shop at? What are the magazines that you love to read? What are the movies that you watch? Like, what are the movies that you could watch over and over and over again? What series on TV? Like, if you had to binge watch a show, what would it be? What is something besides health and fitness, besides this Beachbody business, what is something that you could talk about nonstop? Like somebody would have to say, no, Jenny, seriously, stop talking. Like, what is something, it happens to me all the time. It's been happening to me since I was in kindergarten. Jenny, please stop talking. But what is something that you could talk about so much and just, you know, all the things, you feel all the things, and you have so much passion and drive about it? These are the things that aid to defining what your avatar is. Your avatar is somebody out there in the universe that likes the same things that you do, that goes through the same things that you're going through. You know, are you a mom? Are you a mom of boys? Are you a mom of girls? Are you a mom of one child? Are you one and done? Like, I am one and done. Hashtag one and done. We're not having any more kids. We know that. Like, I'm waiting for my husband to get the stamp. I'm like, because we're not doing it again. And I don't want to be on birth control. That's just it. And not because I didn't love pregnancy, just because that's what we've decided is what we want for our life. So think about the things that are so key to you and who you are and what you want. There you go. Wine, coffee, mom life, fitness. Perfect. Those are the things that are really important to Lisa. So Lisa, I want you to take those things and I want you to drill them down further, like red wine or white wine. Like, if I have to choose, I'm going to choose red, and I'm going to choose a red blend or a Cabernet. You know what I'm saying? Like, drive down even further, drill down to the deeper, like, coffee. Like, are you like, I got to have my Starbucks? Or are you like local coffee shop? Mom life, when it comes to mom life, like, what specifically about mom life? Fitness, what specifically about fitness? So you want to think about the things that drive you and your desires, wants, wishes, and those are the things that you are going to, one, speak to, because these are the things that your brand, the people that are following you, want to speak to, and they want to know about. Oh yeah, Dave Ramsey, absolutely. Yep, that's a good one. So and I know Emily does a lot about posting her accounting tips and how she budgets and stuff like that. These are the things, like, so you think about the things that you love and the things that you would showcase and you can talk about nonstop. And you think of the E's. How can you empower or enlighten or educate, entertain somebody? Okay. And then engage. So, like, it's a fifth E. How can you do those four things: empower, enlighten, entertain, or educate somebody based on the things that you know and love outside of fitness, outside of Beachbody? So if you have those things that you can share about, you're giving people free content and giving them a reason to follow you, like you, know you a little bit better, know a little bit more about you. And these are the things that you want to share, not only on your posts, but in your stories. So what I want to take it back to though is your core values of who you are. So I posted a picture earlier today in the group, excuse me, in the event, and it was some core values. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you guys can see the core values that I'm talking about. And these are just some of the core values. There's a lot of core values that are out there, guys, but these are some of the ones that really stuck out to me as things we, especially as coaches, have a lot of, you know, a lot of things that we really relate to. And I want you to be able to look at this list of core values, and I want you to pick 5. Actually, I want you to pick 3 to 5. If you can narrow it down to 3, then that's even better. But I want you to pick 3 to 5 of these core values here. And I want you to tell me, or like, you know, write down for yourself, what are these core values? And then how do you demonstrate them? So if love is one of your core values, is it giving love or receiving love? And when you're talking about love as a core value, how do you demonstrate that? Do you demonstrate that with acts of kindness? Do you demonstrate that by, you know, building friendships and relationships? How do you demonstrate love is a core value to you? Compassion's another part of it. So if those are your core values, those really boil down to some of our like 6 basic human needs. And our basic human needs are what drive everything we do as people. So what I want you to think about is, out of these core values, how are you showing up in your business every single day demonstrating these core values? And then take it one step further and say, how are you really living this out and sharing how you're living this out? Because this is where it gets hard. That's where it gets hard. You know, you can say that something is your core value, but you know, we have all of these other things that kind of just that plague us every single day. And I will tell you, and I will be very, very honest and very upfront with you guys, one of the ones that I deal with a lot is actually, I don't deal with it a lot now, but I've recently been dealing with it more, is anger. Like for me, I grew up in a household where my dad was always yelling, always. He was only home on the weekends. He was gone all week long. And when he was home on the weekends, he was mad about something. And it was usually because my mom was taking care of 2 kids, didn't have a job. She was moving us around all over, doing all the things. We called her, you know, Harry's taxi, because she was always driving us to all of the sports and all of the activities. And we were always so engaged with so many things at once. And when it came time to like the house being like clean and taken care of, my dad be away all week, and he'd get home and everything would be all over the place. And any of you who know, because you have kids, it's hard to do all that. It's hard to keep all of that up. And it's even harder when you don't have the support from a spouse during the week, all week long, right? So I learned anger as an outlet, and I learned anger towards my mom. So, I mean, I learned it from my dad, right? I learned it. And these are the things that I've thought about, just kind of going back and thinking through my past and where have I developed my habits and where have I developed my core values from. But my love is a very big core value of mine, and compassion. A lot. I get angry with her because she does things that make me go, well, why would you do that, right? And so we have to really look at, if we're saying that one thing is our core value, and then we're saying that another, but we're doing something else, what we're seeing is, one, a lack of authenticity. So people don't understand what we're about. But 2, those 2 things are fighting against each other. And when those 2 things fight against each other, what you say you want and what you do, it causes even more confusion in here. And then you get stuck. And then you get in this like loop of like, what do I post about? What do I talk about? What do I do? And I think that when we get too stuck, not knowing our message, not knowing our mission, and not knowing our core values, it makes it harder for us to really show up authentically in a way that people see us, and they see, one, the struggles that we're going through, but two, they see exactly what we're doing and how what we're doing can help them. So I want you guys to all list out tonight. You don't have to do it in the chat, but if you do it in the chat, that'd be awesome, because we can kind of share a little bit and we can kind of brainstorm how, like as a group here, we can brainstorm how we can share what this business has done for us and how it relates back to our core values. So I love seeing that you guys are posting these in here right now. Fitness, family, books, quotes, and cheese, traveling, Disney. Yep, Eve, you're my person. You're so my person. And I'm sorry you're doing the reset right now because cheese is not on the reset. I'm so sorry. That's going to be a tough one. Emily, faith, relationships, meaningful work. Leanne, faith, family, friendships, relationships. So you and Emily have very similar ones, which is awesome. Faith, fitness, finances, DIY, girl, mom. Yes. Yep. I love it. You guys, these are perfect. Health, stability, confidence, family, traveling, love. These are the things that when you're not making a fitness post, these are the things you're posting about. And, you know, you can take these things and you can share a story that like kind of does like a hint and a little bit of a drop about your Beachbody coaching business. But I want you to think about, like, if you're talking about your faith, for example. I know Emily did a post the other day about her Bible study, and they were doing a yoga retreat at the same time, I'm pretty sure. And when she posted that, she was like, it was like, you can sit with us, but you have to find another Bible study because ours is full. Like, that was super cute, but it showed, one, this is how she shows up. This is the thing that's really important to her. This is a thing that's really important to her. But also she's saying, hey, you know, like, I have a community. You need community. Reach out. But at the same time, like, hey, like, this one's not that it's full because we don't want you, but like, we got a lot of people in it and COVID, right? So, you know, it's just something that I really want you guys to think about, and how you can talk about the things that are really important to you. When you talk about these things, I want you to also kind of think about a couple of, these are the things that you want to bring into your life to attract other people. These are the things that are super important to you and what's in your heart and your soul. But I also want you to think about the things that in your past, like, what have you experienced that's a negative value? And I'm going to give you some examples, but I want you to use those negative values, or not negative values, but negative emotions and feelings, and talk about how your business and your fitness and your nutrition have helped pull you away from those negative values. So one of mine, I told you, was anger. A couple other ones are rejection. I talk about rejection a lot because I mean, like, I had we moved around a lot when I was a kid. We moved around every 2 to 5 years, until we moved to Delaware. And I've now been in Delaware since 1994. And that's like a record. And people are like, are you ever going to leave? And I'm like, yeah, probably not. Now I'm good here. But when I think back to my childhood, I think about the fact that I'd have to get into a groove. I'd have to meet new people. I'd have to find the popular clique and then get rejected by the popular clique, because Lord knows I wasn't in the popular clique. It was just like, I was like, okay, well, I'm friends with the guys. I'm friends with people who play sports. I'm friends with the people that are in the musicals and doing the theater stuff. I'm friends with the people on the student council. I'm friends with everybody. I'm friends with everybody. That's just me. But I felt rejected by groups of people because I was always an outsider. I was always coming in years too late, years after the the friendships had formed. So think about like the things that in your past, have you ever felt rejection, anger, frustration, loneliness, guilt, depression, failure, humiliation? There's a lot of those emotions and things that we have thought about and felt in the past that we can take and use those experiences that we've had, speaking specifically to the people in our lives that we might know as acquaintances, or we might know as deeper friendships or anything like that, that are experiencing or have experienced those same things. And we can show them that, you know, now rejection was a huge thing for me in the past, but now loyalty is one of my true core values, because I've been rejected so many times. And as a coach, I know people have experienced those things that I've experienced. And I know that people have gone through the waves of emotions and depression. And I know that now my community, my confidence, and my ability to just stand out and create that connection has allowed me to be a better person, and has allowed me to feel acceptance when before I felt rejection. So you think about like those things, like how do all of these things tie together for you? So it's important to really dig down and say, okay, these are my core values. These are the things that that I felt before, that I'm trying to push myself away from. And by bringing in more of these positive core values, you automatically drown out the bad ones. It's like, you know, like if you've done the Ultimate Portion Fix video series, Autumn specifically says, when you eat good foods, you start crowding out the bad ones. When you feel good emotions, you start crowding out the bad ones. When you make good habits, you start crowding out the bad ones. That's how you break bad habits. You make good habits in their place. I'm not drinking wine tonight, I'm drinking bevy instead. I'm taking my bad habit and I'm crowding it out with a better one, right? So you take those things and you just break it down so that you can figure out how you can speak to the people that are in your network, in your brand, people that you want to speak to. You're not trying to talk to all the people, you guys. You're not. Because talking to all the people puts you coaching for 6 years and being a little frustrated that it took you 4 years to get an idea of what you were doing. I'm going to stop for a sec. Take a breath. I know that's heavy stuff that I just kind of laid out there a little bit. And thank you guys for the feedback. But also, I just want to see if you have any questions or if you have any thoughts so far. And I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute. You guys don't need to see this anymore. Unless does anybody need to see this still? You want to take a screenshot of it? I also put the picture in the group. So, all right, I'm going to stop it. Okay, cool. And now I see all your pretty faces. Anybody? Come on. This is a team session tonight, guys.
I'll just add to what you're saying, because this has been the thing that has set me apart, and I really feel like has let my people go through every season of life with me, is knowing who my person is at the time and speaking to them. It's never excluded anybody. It just was keeping my message consistent. And the one thing I hear constantly from people I don't really know is how much they feel like they know me because of sharing this way. Yeah. And being very concise with what my message is and everything that I'm doing. And Jenny put this, like, really simplified this for y'all. I feel like if there was a way for me to understand it, having that core beliefs tied into the things you like is the key. It is like, so what does this mean for the type of person you're trying to attract? Like, what's important to them? Not only like tangibly, like clothes, movies, TV shows, that type of thing. But like at the end of the day, if it's choosing between work and relationships, is your person going to choose relationships or are they going to choose work?
Yeah.
And your messaging, whether you realize it or not, is conveying to them what you would choose. So knowing what that is helps you even hone in your messaging even better. Because I remember at the very beginning of coaching, I would always put quotes up that were motivating to people versus sharing quotes that showed I was motivated, if that makes sense. So then I was bringing in all these people that needed me to be like cheerleading them constantly to press play versus the fact that, like, truth be told, I'm the type of person who's going to press play whether you call me or not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard to connect with those people long term because they needed me to pull them, like Jenny was talking about at the beginning, instead of being motivated people that just needed support too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's exactly been my experience. And I wasn't a cheerleader. I know there's a lot of cheerleaders on this team, but I was never a cheerleader. I was never. And I was the girl that was like, yeah, I'll play football instead. Like, first, yeah. But I like to cheer people on. I like to support people. I think it's empowering and it's necessary to be there for somebody. And I am great at the weekly and monthly check-in. But if you need me to send you a message at 6 a.m. every day, then I'm not your person or you're not my person because that's 400 clients. I mean, like, listen, I'm not actively coaching all of them, but I've got 400 people. Like, if I want to build this business to where I want to build it and I'm going to have thousands of people, then I need to make sure that I am bringing in the people that are like, you know what, here's this, they see a system, they check the box, they check in when they need to, because that's the type of person that I am. So Emily brings up a really great point about that. And she made a comment about how you're messaging, because yes, you want to use the same thing into your messaging because you want to be able to say, you know what, here's my values and here is what. I'm not going to drop a hey girl message if it doesn't feel right to me. I'm not going to send out a cold invite. You know, we do these power hours and it is like, let's talk to all the people and like, let's be professional friend makers. I'm about that. That's cool. Find my people and make friends with them and build a relationship over time and then include them. But like, I'm not going to send out cold messages. It's just not me because, like when it happens, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. Um, and so I know that that's for me. I know what's for me. I know I want to find my people. I know that I want to build my tribe of people that are willing to work. And I know that one of the things that Meredith said in our diamond group today, for those of you who watched the call, she made a comment earlier. She was like, listen, you got to take your limiting beliefs and you got to spin them into something that's a clear, concise desire, but with a positive spin on it. So I'm outside with the dogs earlier and I'm saying, I am having all of these amazing connections with these women who are my people and I am vibing with my tribe. Like I'm like running around my backyard, like saying this stuff out loud. There were no neighbors nearby, so it's all good. But like, these are the things, right? So, getting ourselves into like, if personal development's important to you, because I hope so, it is for me now. This is one of the things I can talk to too. I used to be the girl that was like, I have all these self-help books and you are a mess, right? Like glass houses, right? Throwing stones. But man, I love it now. I got a stack on my desk. There's a stack on my desk and 3 journals that I'm currently writing in. 3. They're all for separate things.
Can I add something to what will, like, the thing that's so fulfilling is when you are talking to your people, all of your people are in your challenge groups. So like the amazing thing about this is Lauren and I have come up with spirit weeks. my people not only do Spirit Week, they tag themselves in it on Instagram.
Yeah.
They post their pictures. They talk to their friends about it. That's who I am. And I have people that do that now. Today, or like this week, Lauren didn't, her scheduling has been all messed up on the Facebook app. And so the loyalty post didn't go up. And I had 4 of my customers message me separately to be like, I really want my stickers. Where is this loyalty post? Because I want to know where it is. And that's kind of how I am. I'm very motivated by connection and stickers and like fun, community driven stuff. And all of my people are like that too. So it is a lot of fun when you're doing life with all of those people that are like you.
Great. All right, Eve, what's your question?
So sometimes I think that I post like too much fitness stuff, and I've asked Beth to like go look at my Instagram and be like, what do you think? And so how often are you posting on your Facebook and Instagram, like one of your other core things versus fitness stuff? Because I do a ton of stuff in my stories, but not everybody is watching my stories. So I'd like to like kind of, we're about to run to goalie training in just a minute, where I'm going to get on the power hour while I'm sitting in the car. So anyway, yeah, I'd love to hear how y'all kind of balance that and how much you post a day, like on your main feed.
The rule that I have been taught many times and follow here and there is 1 in 5. Like I said, follow here and there. I've also recently, it used to be, well, not recently. It used to be that we'd have to post 3 to 5 times a day on our Facebook wall. Now it's mostly like 1. So I may post 1 or 2, but yeah, I hang in my stories. If you have not done Reels yet, I will tell you right now, you have to jump on Reels. If you've done any TikTok, you can do Reels. You'll be fine. The reason I say that is because my stories have dropped where I was getting like 100 people watching them, and now it's like 50 people watching them. But my Reels, when I post a Reel and then I post it, I leave it in my feed so it shows up in my grid. And then after I put my next post up, I remove it from my grid. You can actually remove it from your grid so it doesn't show up in your 9. And then, but it still shows up. So you have like tabs in your Instagram. You have your grid, and then you have your IGTV, and then you have your Reels, and then you have your live. So it has like little tabs at the top right above your grid if you haven't noticed that. But my Reels are getting 300 views, 300 some views. And so, and you know what my Reels are? Like, go watch them. Jenny Lily 37, right? Jenny Lily 317. I think that's what it is. Hold on.
I thought you said Jenny Lily threesome. I was like,
hey, don't get my husband excited. Yeah, Jenny Lily 317. I know, I'm sorry. I had to. But if you go and look on my Reels tab, and then you can take your Reel and you can share it to your story so that people find it. But when I'm looking at my Reels, I'm seeing so many views, and my Reels are like energized posts and Shakeology posts. And I will take my workout that I did and I'll record, if I like have a round and it's 4 moves, I'll record the entire round, and then I'll go back in my Reel and I'll clip it in 15-second increments or 10-second or 5-second increments, because the Reel will give me, that's me. Yep. And so you can see my workout. So my Reel will have a 30-second. Sometimes I'll put music to it, sometimes I won't. But that's getting a lot more views than my stories are. So use the new features as they come out, even as uncomfortable as that might be, just use the new features. And again, talk about like what you're doing. Like, like I'm sharing Energize a lot because, and I'm tagging everybody in the whole wide world. Yeah, Emily, that's amazing. 3,000 views. Holy crap. That's incredible. Amy, do any of your kids do TikTok? Here, I'll unmute you. Hold on. Oh, it's not letting, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, there you go. I don't know what was going on there. Sorry. First of all, this is awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And sorry for joining late. I was having technical difficulties, but my kids do use TikTok, and I asked two of them to figure out Reels for me, and neither of them really wanted to spend the time figuring it out. They couldn't get it immediately, and that was like, they were done. I'm sure it's super easy.
It's so similar. I would just tell them,
YouTube
listen.
it.
Yeah, well, and then I would tell them TikTok's going away. Just like TikTok's going to get banished.
I know. I can't
Just tell
wait
them
for
that.
that, by the way. Sorry for all you people who love it, but it's a huge time suck for the teenagers in my house. So I
Yes.
won't be disappointed.
And yes, Lisa makes a very good point. You can post your TikTok to your Reels also. So if you like TikTok and you're good with TikTok, you can post it to your Reels. And then you can share it to your Reels and share it to your story so that people see it. Anyway, it's a big circle.
But in general, if you don't know how to do something, I know this is going to sound bad.
Like GTS, right?
Yeah, Google that.
Oh, I do. Honestly.
But for Reels, that's what I did is like, I tried. So I got on it. I'm like, I never wanted to do a TikTok because it took so much energy because I was just like, wait, I have to do what? So I just spliced together a bunch of videos while I was meal prepping for my very first one. And I was like, this is the easiest thing. So then I did another one right after that. And then, but I learned how to do it by YouTubing it.
Yeah.
I said, show me how to do this because I couldn't figure it out for the life of me at first. But you just string them together. You can string videos together or pictures together or whatever until it hits the 15 or 30 seconds, depending on which one you're doing.
Yeah, and the other thing that Reels has that TikTok doesn't is when you're doing a video, there's a line feature. It's like two little boxes right here and it says align, and you can click align and it will show you exactly where you left off in your last clip. So you can go and stand in the exact spot you were in, because you have to like pause it and go back and stuff like that. Like you can go and stand in the exact spot you were in and do the exact thing you were doing and then hit the timer, and the timer gives you 3 seconds. Sorry.
I will tell you the easiest thing you can do is splicing together videos.
Yes, just record videos and splice them together later.
And just add them all in together. That's the easiest. All the pointing stuff, I haven't even convinced myself to do that yet. I'm sure it's not hard, but like.
I just need to set an alarm on like a reminder on my phone to do it, because I forget about it until I go to do my workouts in the morning. And then I'm like, oh, I don't have time to Google that now, like to figure it out. Just because I have to get to work after that, but I need to just like schedule some time to look into it. But are you recording, how long are you recording your, like each little video? Are you doing it like in Instagram frames of 15 seconds or?
So what I'm doing is I'm recording video with my tripod, normal facing, not like, but like rear facing camera with my tripod and my ring light in my gym if I'm doing videos. If I'm doing it in my kitchen, I have a tripod and I'm doing selfie facing, and I usually just like, I just do like the little clips, and I do a 30-second, and you can set a timer and you say you only want to record like 8 seconds or 4 seconds, and you can like kind of shorten the timer to do all that. So
thank you.
The way I've done this, and this is life hack by the way, InShot is
yes.
A splicer together thing, but if you turn off your wireless capabilities, it also takes the watermark off of it, and you can save it down without a watermark.
I have the paid one. It was only $1.99, I think, so I just paid for it. I know. You're more frugal.
I learned this on my YouTube tutorial of how to use these things.
Well, I won't set it up for the annual renewal, that's for sure. Yeah, so I digress. I mean, we've gotten into a nice fun rabbit hole. Leanne had a question also. Did we answer it, Leanne, or do you still have it?
So my question, so I'm like a brand spanking new coach, and this is my first call, so I'm really excited to be here.
Yay!
And so I think one of the things that I'm nervous about, insofar as like like, I don't want to be salesy. I want to stick to my core values. I want to share, like I got into coaching because I am a believer basically of like what this product does and what it's done for me. And I think what I need to get myself straight on is like sharing what it's done for me and like what my experience has been since June. And I've started sharing like a lot more because I'm in like a push group trying to not be a baby coach anymore. But I guess what my question is centering around is, so I found a gal, she's pretty new to the area, and we connected, and she actually has Beachbody experience, but isn't wanting to sign up with a new program right now. So we're like kind of having the conversation of like, how can I still help her get motivated, potentially get her under like do the coach change form, at least get her like plugged in with the group, because I think this would be something that'd be awesome for her. Like it's been awesome for me, you know, going back to sharing what it's done for me and etc. But my question is like, I guess like I feel like I maybe have been salesy in my conversation, and like, have y'all ever felt like that, like you have tried to be like salesy but didn't mean to be, but like you actually do care about the relationship? And like, how do you navigate that and kind of like bring it back around and be like, look, I care about you and your goals with whatever those are, like let's take a step back, realign. Like because I sent her like this long thought out text this morning, no response back, have seen her respond on something else, like, and so I know her phone works, I know she got my message, but haven't heard back. And now I'm like, oh no, she's gonna think I'm like that slimy salesy person, and I'm not. And I'm just like, I don't know, hashtag help.
So I'm gonna say one thing. Take a deep breath, because guess what, you're gonna get through it again. It's okay. And I think one of the things we kind of get into the habit of at the beginning, because we're so excited, is this little thing called word vomit, where we just say all of the things. And I've noticed from my own personal experience, from vomiting over everybody with my words, that it scares people away, because they're like, wow, that is just so much information. And so when you get ghosted, it's because they don't know how to respond and they don't know what to say, and they've got so much information, and they were like, man, I was just really, okay, no, maybe this is too much. Maybe this is too much. Maybe I can't handle this right now. So there's so many things that might be going, like, so I want you to think about putting yourself in that person's shoes. If you are exactly where they are right now, and also, are they exactly where you were when you started? So you only need to bring them to the level of where you are now, right? Excited. And you don't need to bring them all the way to their end goal. You just need to bring them to the getting started goal. So your most important step right now is to ask questions. Ask all the questions. And you know, you can ask generic questions or you can ask specific questions, but once you ask some of the generic questions, start to ask the more specific questions. Like, you know, like if you say, your person says, man, you're so inspiring, I really wish I could do what you do, then you can ask, instead of being like, well, why don't you? This is what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. You can say, well, what do you mean? Like, what specifically do you mean? Do you mean like waking up early in the morning to work out? Do you mean working out every day? Do you mean balancing homeschool life and working out and working? Like, try to understand what they mean when they say, you're really inspirational to me. Well, how so? And then you can also ask, how could I be more inspiring to you? Because that gives you something else to post about and something else to share that's going to help other people. I actually messaged a coworker of mine, because I did like a face-to-face, like 6 years between when I got engaged and when, like a couple days ago, and I'm aging in reverse. I totally feel it. I'm 41 years old. I feel like I'm aging in reverse. And a bunch of people liked it. And one of my coworkers that I work with every single day was like, I'm just not where you are. I try to do walks every once in a while. I was like, well, if you would like my help, I'm totally here. Would you ever like me to send you some recipes? She's like, girl, that'd be amazing. Because she's got 2 daughters that are active. She's like, I'd love to have some ideas where I can throw something together quick. I'm like, would you ever like me to send you some recipes? Or, I can send you a free workout if that's something interesting to you. But I ask questions. I ask questions with where they are, what they need. If they're struggling with nutrition, well, what do you mean? And then also, well, what have you tried before? What have you tried before? What has worked for you in the past? When's the last time you felt like you had your nutrition on lock, on point? And some people will say never. Some people will say that, never. If there was one thing you could do today that would make things better for you, what would it be? If there was one thing you could do over the course of the next few weeks, like, where can you make improvements? And you have to remember, you have to start where people are. I have clients that have ordered challenge packs that still haven't been able to do a single workout yet, but they've increased their water to over 100 ounces a day. And they've started doing some walking on a treadmill, and they've started making their shake, even though they're making like that face where they're like, oh, I just started drinking this and I'm not ready for it. I'm like, you're going to crowd out the other stuff, I promise. Yeah, my love.
Where's my daddy?
I don't know. I think daddy's in his office. Come here. So you can do the things that ask the questions, and then you can also offer, but ask, would you like me to offer some suggestions that might help? I can say, like, maybe you need, not maybe you need, but like, have you tried drinking more water? Or have you tried getting up and walking around the block a couple times? Like, starting with where they are and asking the questions. Because I think that once we really, yeah, you can wear my mask. Once we get down to asking the questions of understanding where people are, then we can understand where we can help them.
Can you help?
Sure.
Thank you. This was very helpful.
You're welcome. This is Aria. She's 3. I bribed her with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Leanne, the other thing I think is really helpful, and I typed this in the chat, is when you have a situation like that, even before it starts, is getting them on the phone, because you can, or by Zoom, because it's having a conversation with someone in person and seeing their body language tells you, like, you watch when they're nodding, and you're going, oh yeah, see, she's really into that accountability piece, right? And asking those questions and taking notes so that when you offer your solution, you can gear it towards the things that are a priority to her. And I do that with everybody. And also, to echo Emily's comment in the chat, is to keep practicing by inviting lots of people, because where you're sitting now in that emotional place, we have all been there. But as you start to invite more people, you realize that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So you're not weighting your success as a coach on the response of any one person. Like, and the biggest, Emily's clapping, the biggest thing, like, I will share with my team too, is to go for no. Like, I challenge you, go for 100 no's between now and the end of October. Because I guarantee you're going to get more than 3 people who say yes. But if you're going for 100 no's, that means you're talking to a lot of people. And so, like, start to celebrate that. You can Google it, go for no. It's like a graph, not a graph, a chart with like 100 no's written on it, and just cross them off as you go. And then it also shifts your mindset. So when someone says no, you're like, well, I'm not my 5th no. I'm just going to keep on trucking along. And then it's defeating to any of us when someone says no, but they're not saying no to you. They're just, it's not the right time. And so I will ask them, like, so sorry that you're not ready. Like, can you share why? Or just ask these questions, because if you can take notes on that, like, sometimes they might say, I've had 1 million people say to me in like February, I'm a tax accountant, or I work for a tax accountant. I can't do anything until April 15th, right? And I'm like, sure you can, but you don't believe you can't. So I'll make a note to contact them after the date that they told me, or after. I just spoke with somebody earlier today who said, I have this really big exam on Saturday. And I said, great, good luck. We're going to touch base on Sunday. right? And like, I think it's really important to just set those things. And then it's our job once they come in to convince them that they can handle it, even when life goes to hell in a handbasket. Like they can handle it no matter what's thrown at them because they've made it part of their routine. But it is hard to start and get out of your own way when you already can't get out of your own way. So yeah, go ahead, Em.
I want to add to all of this is you're probably making it worse than it actually was too, because we all have a tendency to do that where we overthink afterwards, but really it could have been being a mom now. I totally understand the whole like look at something and never come back to it for like a week or 3 days or whatnot. So just keep 3 weeks, that too. Just keep that in mind too, is that we are our harshest critic. So instead of getting so flustered and worked up of how you did it wrong, really think about like how you did it right. Go back and look, what did she say was important to her? How did you address that? And maybe it's, instead of sending 3 paragraph long messages, it's breaking it up and like sending it to them piecemeal so that they can digest it a little bit. The big thing too is just remember, a lot of times when people get overwhelmed by your messages or what you have to say or anything like that, it's usually them trying to grapple with coming to terms with making a change. And a lot of people struggle to make the decision to say yes. So know that that's not always you. Yes, there's things we can improve on personally of how we like deliver and all of that. But in general, you are doing your job by getting it out there, inviting them, sharing with them what has worked for you. And so that's where you should be like feeling like you're doing the right thing. And then you'll learn all the skills along the way. But the more people you talk to, the more you'll understand what your person needs to hear from you.
Perfect. Practice makes perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but more yeses than nos.
Okay, I got a message from someone today that was like, oh my God, I didn't not know how to fill out the form or something like weird. She was like, I just didn't know if I wanted to buy it. And I was just like, oh my God, you thought like the whole reason I followed up with you is because I wanted you to buy it? I was like, we were just switching you over. But it was just one of those things where it happens to me too, where I like walk away from a conversation and I'm like, oh my God, that is not what I intended. So I go back and I overanalyze and I look at it. And then I realize ultimately that was like her thing, not really me. So again, a lot of times we're harder on ourselves than anybody would be on us, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, guys, I know that we're at the hour mark. I know we started a few minutes late, so I think we should keep to the hour mark though, so that we don't go over and respect everybody's time. Is everybody good? Anybody else have any questions, or if you want to message me or message Emily or Amy, anybody wants to ask any questions, feel free. Anything else before we say happy Wednesday?
That's right, Mommy.
Oh, thank you. Oh, she made me a book. All right. Well, guys, thanks again so much for jumping on tonight. And I'm going to send, I'll put a couple notes about some of the things that we talked about in the event. Aria, really? She pulled out a pin. Like, wait, hold on. Like, look what she did in like the 5 seconds. Can you see that?
Jenny, I saw this thing on Instagram today. It said having kids is like living with Joanna and the other girl from the Home Edit, except like whenever they put everything out, except they don't organize anything and put it away. Except you organize and put it away during nap time. So
No, not gonna do it. No,
all good.
she's gonna put it all back. It's mostly papers and crayons, but it's fine.
Training. There you go.
All right. Well, anyway, again, I'm going to put some notes, guys. I'll drop them into the event page so that if you guys have any questions or any takeaways, feel free to reach out to me if you guys want to talk a little bit more about this topic. But thank you guys. I think this is a great call tonight. Thank you, Emily and Amy and everybody for your input and your questions. Leanne, is it Lee? It's not Lee, it's Leanne, right?
It's Leanne. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Leanne and Eve, I know, and Katie, thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Bye, guys. Oh, wait, do we want to take a picture? Damn it.
I took one.
All right, perfect. You're the best.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye, guys.